This was LaFortune a few months earlier after he was dropped off at a Regina hospital, weighing barely 90 pounds, his lips and tongue mutilated, burns on his body, and suffering brain damage. Dustin Paxton is charged with assault and unlawful confinement in the LaFortune case. And this week, Calgary police laid additional charges against Paxton.
And we've been through a lot of time, good time, bad time together. What you're talking about and what this news is talking about and what all these f***ing people that are supposed to be my friends and my family are f***ing talking about is this guy was never f***ing held hostage. This guy was never f***ing tortured.
Then tell me, Dustin. Tell me right here, right now, this is your opportunity. Explain those injuries to him.
I'm not going to attempt to try and explain the injuries to him. Okay, I'm in a cop shop fucking 2,200 kilometers away from anybody I know, being charged with absolute horseshit.
Dustin.
The last thing I'm going to do is sit in this room and try and explain what happened, where that's going to happen and where it's going to have to happen, and because of the escalation of this whole entire incident is going to happen in a courtroom.
Okay, have you seen the news in the last 24 hours?
Yes, I did.
And what were your thoughts, Dustin?
I miss him.
You miss him?
I miss him. And I miss everybody. My thoughts are, I cannot believe that there is not one person who's not standing up and calling this bullshit. Everybody you're talking about talking to, I have sacrificed and helped in one way, shape, or form in my lifetime when I wasn't in a position to. And for these people to stand up and actually believe this horseshit that's coming out, it's bull.
Then give me an explanation.
It's bull. There's nowhere, anywhere in my life where you would see that I would do anything like that to anybody. I would never try and harm anybody. I was always out to help people, not to hurt them. This guy deteriorated every single friggin' day. Every day he got worse and he got worse, and it wasn't due to anything happening to him.
What do you mean by worse? What does that mean?
His condition got worse.
What condition?
Every day he was a lesser person. Every day his condition got worse.
Okay, how did it get worse?
He would talk less, he would eat less, he would walk less, he would talk less. This guy had no coordination, no nothing. Okay, and I don't know how long he sat in that hospital before they started making any progress with him. And this is trained people. These are trained people, trained to deal with these medical problems, and they couldn't put their finger on it quick. We're talking about two guys that were running from everybody who's trying to get to them. Whether it be the law, whether it be enemies, whether it be just absolute horse people just trying to get them. And under those conditions, with a guy deteriorating, I did the best that I friggin' could to try and help him out. Not to fucking hurt him.
Okay, did he ever assault you?
What do you mean assault? There was no assault that took place. I can clear that up right now. There was no assault. There was no hostage taking. There was no torture.
A long-awaited ruling in a Calgary courtroom tonight for Dustin Paxton, the man accused of confining and torturing his former roommate. Brian Labby has the details for us, some of which are disturbing. Brian.
Peter, it took the judge all afternoon to read her decisions. Late today, she ruled that Dustin Paxton is guilty of aggravated assault and sexual assault, saying the evidence is overwhelming. Dustin Paxton denied all of the allegations. The court, though, ruled those denials were not plausible. The judge said several witnesses testified that, quote, Mr. Paxton treated the victim as his personal servant. And she said there was no question that Paxton caused all of the victim's injuries. She said, quote, I find that the Crown has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim was wounded, maimed, disfigured, and had his life endangered by Mr. Paxton.
I miss him. I miss him.
It turns out that Paxton's police interrogation would be his only statement entered as evidence.
This guy was never held hostage. This guy was never tortured.
He said he loves the victim like a brother and didn't hurt him. In fact, he says it was the opposite.
He couldn't go to the bathroom. I had to walk this guy from the bed to the bathroom. I had to clean him up. I had to feed him. At the end, I had to wipe this guy's entire body down to keep him clean.
The prosecution painted a much different picture, that Paxton controlled every aspect of the victim's life. The two started a moving business in Calgary and lived together in this house. The victim, who was permanently disfigured, testified that he was beaten every day and that he would do anything to make it stop, including sexual favors. Another thing Paxton denied.
I am not gay, nor in any of my life have I ever showed any signs of gayness.
Paxton said the victim had a condition that caused him to fall, and that's how he got hurt. The two detectives didn't buy it.
You are the person responsible for this. It's not a matter of if you did it, it's a matter of why you did it. Why did you do this?
No.
There's no questions. I've got enough evidence. I don't mind going to trial on this.
Let's do it then. You know what I mean? That's where it's going to be. That's where the showdown is going to be.
Dustin Paxton now faces up to 14 years in prison for the most serious charge, aggravated assault. A date for sentencing will be set later this month. Peter?
All right, Brian, thanks very much. Brian Labby in Calgary tonight.